My daughter Gina, 38, left her husband Dan, 40, for a younger and more exciting man from her work. She was 30 and Dan was 32. He was working his buns off to support her and the kids in a very nice life. She was a substitute teacher and she met a young teacher. I think he was 25. He had time to do all the stuff that Dan didn't have time for anymore. I love my daughter. I support my daughter, but she broke up her marriage for a boy. They broke up when she got hit with a condo levy she asked him to help pay for since he was living with her. He declined since he wasn't on the deed. He said he didn't mind paying rent but that maintenance was on the owner. They fought and that was that. She ended up having to sell the condo. It was too expensive for her alone, but she fought for it in the divorce. That was 6 years ago and she finally burned through the money from the sale. We told her to buy something smaller in a different neighborhood, but she insisted that she needed to live there so the kids' lives wouldn't be disrupted. In the meantime, our son-in-law just remarried a lovely girl, Madison, 28. Our grandchildren like her and she's always very pleasant when we speak. She's pregnant and the kids are excited for a new sibling. I will definitely treat the baby as a grandchild if Dan and Madison allow it. My daughter is back living with us. All she does is work and complain. She has to work too much. She can't meet good men. This new woman stole her life. It never stops. My wife is always commiserating with her about how she's so hard done by. I just keep my mouth shut. Madison came by yesterday to pick up the kids. After she left, my daughter went off again. She was driving a new car they got since her old car would be impractical for a family of 5 to drive around in. The kids ran out to see it and check out all the bells and whistles. Gina didn't even say hello. After Madison and the kids left, she started whining again, now about how she can't afford a new car. She has bad credit, and I won't co-sign. She could get a car, but the rates would be astronomical. She spends most of her money on her credit card debts and vacations. I couldn't help it. I told her that she chose to give up her life for something different and that choices have consequences. She literally ran crying to her room and I felt like crap. Her mom scolded me for being so harsh. I apologize for saying what I said and honestly feel bad about it, but I think she needs to stop complaining about her life since she chose it. Edit. I've known Dan since he was 12 years old. He and my son are best friends. I'm happy for him and I wish my daughter had seen what she wanted in him when they were married. Not the idiot. Your daughter is 38 and is old enough to hear the truth. You don't need to use kids' gloves anymore with her. The constant whining and complaining must be a real headache for everyone around. Seeing as she works too hard, she should soon save up enough to whine in her own place. Yeah, I struggle to see how this woman stole her life, lol. Gina divorced her husband to be with a more exciting man. Like you chose that path, not your parents, ex-husband or anyone else. Opie's wife is feeding the daughter's victim complex. No one stole Gina's life. Gina threw her life away. My mother-in-law divorced my father-in-law for similar reasons. I ran off for a few years, then tried to return and move into the family home as nothing happened. Years later, she has the gall to call father-in-law's then-girlfriend a homewrecker. I'm sure Madison is very grateful for the choices Gina has made. What baffles me most of all is that she was only 30. That's barely any time to, get married and have your kids and sort of school and get established in your career and buy a condo and decorate it. Why would she need more excitement? And at the same time, she fought hard for that condo, which speaks to wanting some stability, right? But why would she think that a guy in his mid to late 20s would provide that? Gina's miscalculations are gigantic. No wonder she feels so much regret. Whining isn't the way forward, though. I, female 28, just had my first beautiful baby boy a few weeks ago. He's the light of my life and both my husband, 30, and I are overjoyed. My mom, 61, lives overseas and came to help out with the new baby. She's a doting grandma but tends to do things her way, so there have been a few hiccups. The pediatrician was very clear that no one should kiss the baby other than my husband and I. The baby's little immune system is too weak, and God forbid he gets something. I was very clear about this to my mom, who was resistant, but I was firm and told her no holding the baby at all unless she agreed to no kissing. So, no kissing was agreed. Yesterday, I walked into the nursery to find my mom kissing the baby and playing with him. I was so upset. How long had she been doing this behind my back? My mom justified it by saying that the baby was now a few weeks old and nothing bad had happened, so we could start building his immune system. She also said rules like this were why so many people had allergies nowadays. I took the baby from my mom and called her a selfish cow. I told her that it would be her fault and hers alone when the baby died from a preventable disease. I may have gone a bit far. I told her she was lucky I wasn't kicking her out, and the only reason I wasn't was because she had no place else to go. As I type this, my mom is busy packing her bags because she is clearly not welcome in her grandchild's life and moaning about how she will never have a bond with him. She found time in all of this to text my aunt, 65, who called to tell me that I should be ashamed of myself and that my son should count his blessings that he has a loving grandmother. Now, I wonder if I was a bit intense and probably could have been a bit more relaxed. So, was I the idiot? This is hard. It's so interesting. I have 2 children and have never been told that people can't kiss my baby. Obviously, in the first 6 weeks, you're to lay low. In Australia, where I live, the recommendation is that people with close contact should have a whooping cough vaccine and no cold sores. I would never tell my mother she couldn't kiss my baby. The bond between a grandmother and grandchild is so special, but I can appreciate that if your health professional has put the fear of God into you, you would go full protective mum mode and see red. I think no idiots here. Well, your baby is not OP's baby. Maybe he's premature. Not the idiot. Your pediatrician was clear about this. You were clear about this, but she didn't listen. Your child's health comes first, and you're a very fresh mom. Of course you're going to react strongly when she endangers your baby. She should know this. She doesn't get to play the victim when she's risking your child's health. It doesn't matter who's right. Your mom sucks because she went behind your back and did something you both agreed she wouldn't do. It isn't what you both agreed. But you suck the hardest. That's a nasty, nasty, nasty thing to say to your mother, who loves you and your baby, and who is there helping you out. You're a huge idiot. By the way, check again with the pediatrician. That rule usually means no one who isn't in constant contact with the baby shouldn't kiss them. Your mother is living with the baby and is taking care of her. I bet the pediatrician would say there's no problem with her kissing him in that context. I'm not justifying what your mom did. As I said, she broke your deal regardless of where the truth lies. Did you miss the part where Grandma just came from overseas in a germ tube with wings? And who knows how many airports in between? She sounds exactly like the kind of person who shouldn't be kissing a newborn. OP doesn't suck at all. Grandma's going to do what Grandma's going to do, damn the consequences. Not the idiot, and let her see herself out. My wife and I both have electrical engineering degrees, but I no longer work in that field and am a manager. We have a daughter, teen, and a son, nearly adult, and both will be headed to university next month. My son is doing a BA and has yet to pick his major, and my daughter will be studying physics and computer science. My son is also very smart and is a history and language nerd. My daughter is smart and hardworking and is attending at an earlier age than usual. She was in a school program for gifted kids. We were having a conversation at dinner the other day, and my wife mentioned how proud she was of our daughter, how lucky we were to have gifted children going to good university programs, and how not many people could do what our daughter did. I was also very happy, but I said that while daughter is really hardworking and smart, I wouldn't say that she's actually gifted and others could do it if they put in the same amount of work. Her school does a lot to try to admit girls into her program, and my wife helped teach her advanced college-level math and physics from an earlier age. She didn't naturally pick it up on her own. Being a younger applicant with the same credentials probably helped her stand out more for the admissions committee. I have seen how people can ruin their lives by thinking they're gifted and it going to their head, so I just wanted to caution her about that. Both my wife and daughter are upset at me now. My wife thinks I was trying to put her down, which is not true, and said she's gifted, while my daughter actually agrees with me but says I shouldn't have said it as she already knows. Am I the idiot here? It might not come across in the post, but I'm genuinely proud and happy for my kids, and beyond what I described here, there was a lot of complimenting and celebration on my part. You are the idiot. Putting your daughter down served no positive purpose. Discouraging a young teen like that can have serious detrimental effects. Even if she isn't gifted, you were the idiot. That being said, she is gifted. Not every mid-teen can go to a university to study physics. Not only is she gifted academically, but she's also gifted with drive and determination. Not everyone has that, and you tried to put her down. Yeah, did it feel good to say that about your daughter? Does it feel good to let her know that she's not as smart or unique as other people, that, like you, she's just average? Does it feel good to correct your wife about her views regarding said daughter and make her feel bad about her opinion? It must really damage your pride to have two exceptional women achieving more than you. And she's achieved more than the son too. Or am I the only one that noticed son excels at softer subjects, history and language, traditionally female, while daughter excels at harder subjects, physics and computer science, traditionally male? And she's going with early admission to the university, son's going along with everyone else. It seems like Dad felt he had to knock her down a peg or three. What an idiot. OP is a total misogynist. He has to explain why his daughter isn't gifted, while the son doesn't have to be explained. He clearly thinks women are less talented. The daughter will be well equipped to handle the misogyny she'll encounter studying physics and computer science. She's had to deal with it her whole life. My teen male dad and stepmom work late, so it's usually just me and my stepsisters home alone. The older one is usually at her friend's place, so she's away during the day. I'm usually gone for football practice or the gym during the day, while my other stepsister, teen, is at soccer practice. She forgets her house key maybe 3 or 4 times a week. Usually I'm only 5 or 10 minutes behind her, so I can just let her in. The other day though, I decided to get lunch with my buddies, so I was late from when I usually arrive home. When we were walking to the restaurant, my stepsister called me asking if I was coming home and saying that she was locked out again. I told her that I was getting lunch and to call her sister if she needed to be let in. She tried pleading with me to come home because the sister was like 20 or 30 minutes away and we both knew she would decline. I basically told her tough crap and to wait till I came home and hung up on her. This is where I might be the idiot. We were done with lunch in about an hour and I decided to milk the time till I had to go back home, and we hung out for about another hour or two. I had to take the train home, so my stepsister waited almost 3 hours in our backyard. Needless to say, but she was angry. She was full on cussing me out in the backyard for how I was being rude. I didn't really say anything other than to not forget your key before going inside and heading to my room. I didn't talk to her for the rest of the night till dinner, but after dinner my dad wasn't too happy with what I did and said that if she needed the house key, then I couldn't hang out with my friends till I unlocked the door. My stepsister is angry at me, obviously, and now my older stepsister is saying I was being a jerk, but I'm curious what others think. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She needs to learn to take her key with her. You're teaching her a well-needed lesson. Dad is an idiot for enabling her forgetful behavior. I'd start asking her every day if she had her key. When she gets upset, point out that if you're expected to let her in like a little kid, you will treat her like a forgetful little kid. Since she forgets her key 3 or 4 times a week, it's unreasonable to expect you to drop all your social life this often. I drop all my plans if my family forgot her key once in 2 or 3 years, but since it's a habit, she just has to wait. Also, parents can help and hide a spare key in the backyard or something. They can also give a spare key to a neighbour. Hopefully, it taught her a lesson that not everyone is at her beck and call over a key. It's not like she was abandoned. So you wouldn't have stayed longer if she wasn't locked out? You are the idiot if that's the case. It's not your responsibility to make sure she has her keys. It shouldn't change your plans if she doesn't have them. But to stay out longer on purpose when you would have gone home if she remembered her keys makes you the idiot. That's malicious. All she did was forget her keys. No need to have it out for her. Also, it sounds like she has ADHD. My family is very well educated and full of professionals, including several doctors, surgeons, dentists, etc. I have a good career and make a good living. When I met my fiancé, he was at my house to supervise a roofing crew the insurance company hired to replace my damaged roof. I instantly fell for him when he pulled up in his truck and couldn't keep my eyes off him for the rest of the day as he gave orders to his men. When we started dating, he was vague about his job and I just chalked it up to him being insecure about me having a better career. I didn't care about our income imbalance. When we got serious, we talked about our future plans, and that was when he told me the full extent of his little construction company. I was shocked that his construction earnings were as much as my dad's surgeon salary. Gradually, he took me around to the handful of construction lots and shopping centres he owns. His rental income, combined with his construction earnings, is double that of my dad's. He said that few people know about his finances, and he expects me to keep what I know to myself. My parents disapproved of him since the first time I brought him home. My dad coined the term tool boy. The rest of my family joined in whenever they talked behind my fiancé's back. They don't call him that to his face, but instead make snide remarks. Once, my mom said during dinner that they were thinking about hiring someone to mow their lawn, then turned to my fiancé and asked him what he charges. I always try to defend him, and it's a constant battle. It's gotten worse since we're planning our wedding, and the other day my nerves just broke. Yesterday, parents were trying to get me into getting a prenuptial. Then my dad said, "You have to protect your assets just in case Toolboy decides to go slumming." I lost it and yelled at my parents. During our shouting, I blurted out his earnings and that he makes more than them combined, then stormed out. I told my fiancé what happened, but instead of supporting me, he got mad that I told my parents. I argued that I was defending him, then we got into an argument. My parents and family are mad at me for keeping secrets. My fiancé is mad at me for not keeping secrets. I'm stuck in the middle and don't know what to do. It sounds like your fiancé likes to build relationships on foundations and merits outside of his finances. Meanwhile, your family looks down on anyone they deem lesser earners than themselves. I know whose corner I'd be in. Apologize to your fiancé and tell your family to stuff it. Your family are snobbish idiots and will always be snobbish idiots. Their opinion doesn't matter. You're marrying your fiancé. There is no middle. You're an adult and aren't obligated to make mommy and daddy happy or pay any attention to their nonsense. All you've done is reinforce the notion that it's okay for your parents to look down on poor folks by letting them know that your fiancé isn't one of the poor folks. They honestly sound awful, and I can't believe your fiancé has put up with this treatment for this long, and I can't believe you've allowed it to continue. Sorry, but you are the idiot. You could have said plenty of other things to illustrate how damn horrible your family was being. You didn't have to throw out numbers. Now, if your family starts acting better, he'll always know it's based on his earnings, not his character.